Okay. So thank you so much, everyone, and I'm extremely sorry from our end for this technical glitch. So there's some issue in streaming streaming the recording on Zoom. Oh, sorry, from Zoom to LinkedIn. So I think that glitch was the reason we asked you all to join on the Zoom platform. But thank you everyone to consider the opportunity and please accept the apology from our end. And so we'll start, quickly and feel free to throw your questions, ask Amey anything, in your personal exhibition journey, whatever you have faced. Amey will be happy to answer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Murtaza and I'm the marketing manager and I'll be the host for today. I'll probably be taking your questions and, give it to Amey. And, any questions, feel free. Yeah. So before we start, so we'll just give a quick introduction about sales and profit, just a 2 minutes introduction. Amey, you can switch the slide. Yeah. Okay. So this is like a bit overview about us as a company. So we call ourselves as a B2B sales performance improvement company, and our only focus is to help B2B organizations improve their sales KPIs and metrics. So we typically work with companies who are in B2B complex selling, where there is a longer sales cycle and multiple decision makers are involved. And predominantly, we do this through three of our services, which is mentioned here. One is sales enablement, second is sales consulting, and the third is sales recruitment. So the sales enablement is mostly, where we do the sales training part, the coaching part, where we have over time developed our proprietary methodologies for the entire suspect to order journey for account management, sales managers coaching. So all this comes under sales enablement. So we have over time, developed like opportunity management methodology, opportunity qualification methodology, creating customer urgency module. So all these are in the bucket of sales enablement. Now coming to our sales consulting, this is where we would like to focus on your entire sales organization. Like what kind of sales KPIs and KRAs, what are the sales incentive structure, what would be your sales org structure, what are the sales tech tools you should implement, how is your sales team's alignment with the other cross-functional teams, or etc. So this is a like a overall start to end journey where the end goal is to positively impact your sales number, the final sales revenue number. And the third one is sales recruitment, where we specifically help tech companies with their mid to senior sales roles. So we only work with IT tech, technology-driven companies, and the roles are typically upwards 15 lakhs. This is where our specialty lies, and we are very focused on giving you the right sales talents. And we are not like a generic recruitment agency where we just want to fill a position. And so we have few customers we would like to just showcase with whom we have worked with. We have the opportunity to work with. So yeah, so these are the customers over the years we have been able to serve. And yeah, you can just quickly go through it. And any of the customers match your industry like that. Yeah, great. So now we'll go to the actual speaker, who is Mr. Amey. He has already, given some context about him. But I'll just quickly run through, that what Amey's experience is. So he's a sales consultant for over 2 decades, and he has specifically experience in B2B sales, commercial excellence, and sales enablement. So throughout his career, he has worked with across industries. So like manufacturing industry, engineering, technology, chemical industry, IT, ITES industry, professional services industry, and he has helped many companies improve their sales effectiveness, strengthen their sales engagement, drive better sales outcome, revenue outcomes. And overall through his consulting engagement, he has worked with many sales leaders, business leaders to enhance their customer engagement, improve the sales execution, and accelerate the sales growth. And overall, these all years of insights of Amey has ultimately led him to develop this particular module, which will shortly go through, which is about exhibition execution excellence framework. So this is basically what we are, we'll see a glimpse of what Amey has developed, and hopefully you guys would find value in this. And now, so this is the short introduction about Amey. So now, without any further delay, I would like to hand it over to Amey, and he can just walk you through. And again, feel free to use the chat box, unmute yourself to ask any questions. Yes, Amey.
Sure. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much, Mutsa. Again, thank you very much for everyone, those who are joining in. We understand that the time slot which was been given is nearly at the end, but however, the intention is to definitely add a value. I'll keep the pace slow, considering that is how it was been scheduled. Feel free to ask any question because the group is small. We can keep it interactive as well. Thank you very much for joining in. Let me just start from the agenda itself. So what we thought about while developing the whole 1 hour session was that we will talk about why does exhibition exactly need a new lens? Is there a reason for it, or is it like whatever is going on has been going good? Why uproot something which is not broken? But then yes, over the period, I'm working with the sales organizations for nearly last 2 decades in a different capacity and in a different role. I have realized that. The exhibition is one of the key area for lead generation. That is something wherein majority of the organization focus. And I'm not talking about a one particular sector. However, my experience, which currently works with even manufacturing, some of the chemical companies, some of the engineering organizations, somewhere in the ITES, somewhere in the whole education domain as well. The exhibitions have been prominently been used everywhere. I'm happy to know that it is one of the media which has been very much famous. However, uh, while working with every one of them, the agenda which was been given to me was very simple. They asked me to observe the process, figure out if there is anything wherein it needs correction, and then use my ability to optimize the sales process. That's what normally a sales consultant role would have been. But over the period when I have experienced multiple exhibitions, I realized that there is a common thread which is going on and probably is not visible to everyone. And that thread, that problem, that understanding, observation is something brings me to this one particular point of does it really need a new lens? I'll probably by the end of the session will cover that how the 45 exhibition days outlook would look like. Then how we will be able to create the relevance before the event, what will we do in exactly the event days, then what will happen on the floor, protecting momentum after the event, which will mean probably following up at the right time with the right intent, and then of course measuring what exactly matters. This is how the flow would have been. Again, the future of the exhibition is something which I'll cover if the time permits, wherein I would like to talk about something which is going to happen down the line 5 years, 10 years, and how exactly the evolution of this particular act of exhibitions would come. Taking it to the next phase, when I believe that exhibition is not something which is new. It is not starting like today, or probably not in last 5 years, 10 years. It is there from the start of the business cycle. First time someone must have thought about gathering everyone together and doing it as a ancient markets, wherein periodically, sometime weekly, sometime bi-weekly, sometime even monthly, people come together, have that buyer and seller get together, and the business happens. This is what been a first form of exhibition ever would have happened. Again, I'm talking about probably a long time ago. Over the period, as the evolution started happening, things started changing. Like for example, with the technology reaching to the right level, trade fairs, the trade routes started operating into, and then people started making these trade fairs, wherein people from far-fetched areas started traveling to other locations to do only that. Brings it to the next one, wherein with the industrial revolution, product became complex. It is no more a possibility that as is produced from the farm is getting sold, wherein product demonstration became important. Concept cell took its own shape and form, and that's where the exhibition became really from a trade fair to an exhibition as a name. That is where probably people started exhibiting what they have as the product, the machine, the innovative ideas which they bring in. Sometimes they have been absolutely theoretical, sometimes they have been practically showcasing something as a product. From there, even if I look at the last journey, uh, hello.
I think you have to reshare your screen. Yes.
Is this better? I realized that something changed.
Yes, yes,
It's now
yes,
better.
yes. Now
Okay.
it's better.
Over the period, in last 50 or 100 years, probably from that industrial exhibitions to today's era of the world, information became absolutely suitable and easily accessible. People continuously started accessing information about the product, the needs, the specifics from the particular offerings on internet, using telecom, using different communication medias. The first interaction with the product is no more happening at the exhibition. Exhibition started becoming a second layer wherein people wanted to trust whatever they have heard or seen online. And in order to do that, people started visiting exhibitions with preparedness. Reached it to a today's era wherein the exhibitions are becoming much more sophisticated further. The stall space are becoming different. The stalls are getting converted into the meetings places wherein people are coming with the intent to close, sometimes not to close, but then to go deeper into the conversation and get to a level wherein the discovery, the evaluation, the networking, etc., could happen. Again, this is where the business will never be stopping. It will still go further based on the technological evolutions, based on the AI. Things will change again. But however, the fundamental idea remains constant. Across all the journey, people have been looking for something, and that is what something which is on your screen now. These are the underlying principles which we always need in the entire sales journey. Someone need to discover a buyer and a seller. Then comes a time when people need to evaluate the product or compare it to assess it to something which is in their mind. Then build a trust that this person can be a trustworthy supplier for a longer duration and a business continuity. And then do a business wherein people sign contracts, do agreements with people, some transactional, sometimes even in a B2C, it is across the counter purchase. All of this get executed in the journey. Now just imagine if I go back to the era of trade fairs wherein people were been just bringing in goods, the itinerary which they have, and try to sell, finish it off, and go home. From there till today, the fundamentals or the underlying principles of exhibition is not changing. However, over the period, the execution process is becoming different. And that's where I thought that in an exhibition, everything is going smooth. What is not going correct is probably the execution as on today. And again, when I'm saying so, it is not basis some random thoughts which are coming in because of one or two exhibitions. After attending multiple of them, I realized that some of the myths are absolutely present everywhere. I'll just quickly try and share my observation with you. But before that, I would love to know that what is your opinion, what your organization normally expects when they run an exhibition or when they participate. I would request Mutuza to quickly run a poll wherein we would like to know what is your take on how your organization is currently looking for exhibition. Mutuza, can you please run the poll?
Yes, sir.
In the meantime, those who have recently joined in, thank you very much for joining in again. Sorry for the delay. It is because of some technical glitch, and we still appreciate your presence here. It really means a lot.
Yeah. So just 10 seconds and the poll will be live, and then you
Sure.
guys can just choose the right option. Okay. So now I'm just publishing the poll. Yeah. Amey, is the poll visible yet?
Not yet. Not to me.
Not yet. Okay. Okay. One second.
In the meantime, Abhijit have commented exhibitions are way to actually meet your target audience face to face in this digital age. I completely agree, Abhijit. In fact, you can consider it as a detox from the digital world. Too many emails, too many personalization, hyper personalization things are coming in. And I agree to your opinion. Yes, the poll is now visible. The poll question says, when your organization decides to participate in an exhibition, what is the primary objective? There are four options: brand visibility, second is lead generation, third is a customer partner engagement, fourth is a market intelligence, and competitive learning. Feel free to give us your responses. We'll just keep it live for a few seconds and around 30 seconds more, and then probably we'll publish the report also. While designing this question, I had a thought in mind that is this question normally getting asked across the boardroom? Are people really contemplating why they want to participate into exhibition, or is it just that it's a FOMO with a budget, wherein you have budget in hand and there is a FOMO that my competition is doing it, my other known people from my industry are participating, so I should also participate? Where exactly that reason comes from? Again, if you have any reason outside this, feel free to type it into chat and my team will pick it up. I'll probably try to cover it in my conversation as well.
So, I think till now, most of the people believe that it's lead generation, around 58%.
Absolutely. It's clearly visible to everyone that majority of the people are currently looking for lead generation as the reason for joining into the lead. What do you think? Murtaza, should we close the poll on this?
Yes, yes.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Guys, I really appreciate and I agree to the fact that lead generation is a reason for majority of the people to participate into uh, the event. However, the brand visibility, the customer partner engagement, sometimes even market intelligence gathering, even the competitive learning, sometimes even hiring would be a reason of people participating into any of the specific events. From there, I would quickly like to move to a point which I started with, that there are some observations which I have kept in mind while designing the whole thought. It is coming out of multiple sessions which I attended with people. And here is the first observation. Before going there, I would just quickly like to share something more on industrial statistics. Considering that we all are participating into the exhibition, this is what the first pointer which I would like to bring it to you, that over the period, the industry is moving towards more and more investment into exhibition. Like Abhijit was been just saying some time back, that it is probably the good point in the digital era to meet someone face to face. And yes, that is a fact for the majority of the world people, those who are participating into exhibitions as well. Here is the quick report which is coming from UFI Global Exhibition Barometer. They keep publishing these reports year on year. This is the outcome of the 31st edition which they have published, wherein it says that in 2024, 16% was been the revenue which was been driven by the exhibition industry. Now it is going probably to 18% by 2025, and it is really indicating that the face-to-face business interaction remains highly valuable by organizations worldwide. Even if I look at the India-centric approach, Indian event exhibition market is projected to grow from 5.8 billion USD to 9.4 billion USD by 2031 in upcoming 5 years. Now, this simply reflects that there is always a need for development of exhibition related competency for every organization. You would be amazed that there is an initiative taken by Government of India wherein it is saying that they develop this infrastructure which would help you conduct better meetings, exhibitions, and networking events across the nation. And these are some of the locations which have been highlighted: Delhi, Jaipur, Mumbai, Hyderabad, and Bangalore. These are the places where government is highly investing into developing this locations as well. Now, if I look at the remaining two statistics, which is I just have kept it handy for the interaction. One and most important was that exhibitions relevance in the B2B, into B2B. If I look at the exhibitions, they can probably be like a business, can be categorized into B2B and B2C. If I look at that, 57.6% of the total exhibitions which are happening across India are contributing to B2B. Again, it is not specific to when customer come across the table and buy something, but this is more to understand, experience, see, build trust, and then purchase kind of conversations, which is we are trying to operate on. And if I look at the spread across the industry, you will be able to see that there are multiple things which are going to happen because of one exhibition. They simulate investment. They help you get better partnerships. They also help you get better supplier network, because the raw material suppliers are also present into the finished good exhibitions, and the finished good products are also present in the raw material exhibitions. Takes it to the even employment as a criteria which I mentioned. It also triggers a lot of travel across the places, and it also definitely helps the hospitality business. Again, as I said, the economic contribution of exhibition as an industry is approximately around 50,000 CR. And if I look at the business activity which is it is facilitating, goes beyond a 3 lakh CR in simply the same context. So definitely exhibitions go beyond what is happening on that floor in that 3 days or 2 days. But however, there is a larger impact which is it is getting created over the period. In spite of all these statistics and data which is I'm trying to show you, I'm just quickly going to talk about some of the learnings which I have done over the period in different exhibitions. Here is something which is you will be able to see that the buyer behavior is shifting. Visitors are swapping right and left, not only into their apps, but also into the booths. They choose which booth am I supposed to go, am I not supposed to go. There is a buyer shift. Visitors no longer carry the intention that I'll go every time and discover the supplier. They come prepared. There is always a reason that they have an intention to visit a stall. Exhibitions are evolving. They are no more a display platforms. The best of the companies use this place for better conversations, for better acceleration of a business. Products can be reached online, they can be researched. However, the trust which is to be developed will happen on the floor. There is another observation which came in, wherein that today the information is free. But is the attention span free? I believe that is not true. Just go one step forward, that because of the travel ability across now, people from local markets are no more the option I have to purchase. I have option to go across. People from different locations can come for these exhibitions, and I'll be able to do a lot of work there. Less space for information. However, there is a more space which is required nowadays before for the conversations. And this is a shift which has been recently been seen across the places. That's the reason now in the exhibition setups, those who are participating today will be able to see that there are bots, there are pods, there is an option for meeting tables to be booked. Even in the apps which we currently get as an input, it has been used as a networking platform. And all of this is a change which has been continuously seen. Whatever I'm trying to see is that these observations are actually the blind spots currently costing the exhibition ROI as well. Why am I saying so? Because we still prepare for exhibition like how we used to do it few years back. We still go ahead with expectation that in the exhibition people will walk in and I will address when they walk in. And if this is where the current state is, then I definitely assure you that this blind spots needs to be removed. By the end of the session, I hope that we will be able to cover everything out of that. Going one step forward, the observations which I was mentioning, which was being the building blocks of this whole initiative, the first and foremost is that most organizations treat exhibition as an event and not as a campaign. This myth has to be broken, and that is where I am trying to contribute that instead of considering it as a 3-day event, consider it as a 45-day campaign. Plan early and follow through. These are the two ways by which you will be able to generate a lot of traction. In my conversation forward, I will explain you what exactly I mean that these 45 days should be. And again, the intention is to make sure that the campaign runs smooth without any hassle. There is a second observation which I wanted to bring it to your notice is that every function participates. Like for example, leadership decides that, okay, I want to get into this particular kind of exhibition, or maybe a marketing or a sales team push leadership to give them approval, and then either a marketing or a sales team gets engaged as well. They do a lot of work in designing booth, being present in the conversation. Sometimes even technology team or a technical support staff get involved. They demonstrate the product, they validate the conversations. Even operations team help in the transport, logistic, building in the particular demos on the table. But however, who owns it? Normally, that is where the blind spot get created, or the observation which helps me highlight it to you is that there is no one owner to the whole process. This is not been treated as the one complete business process. It is fragmented, and that affects majority of the times into a ultimate execution. Again, in all the exhibitions which I have attended, I have seen that people collect card very enthusiastically. They scan every batch coming across to them. All these conversation which is happening is always to get more and more insights from that particular lead which is walking your way. However, in majority of the times, when the end of the day someone asks a question that, do we know what was the intent of this person? Was he very really there to buy, or was he just doing a window shopping? The answers are blur. Business cards are there, badges are there, CRM gets connected always, and of course it get updated information about the market. There is always a visitor list available. Even sometimes the organizers gives you the visitor list from the previous year as well. However, the buying intent, the decision makers conversation, what exactly the business need was there a signal for a budget? All this get missed. The timelines, next steps, all gets vague. And that's where probably again this observation would something which needs to be worked on in the journey of execution excellence. Observation number 4, I would like to fetch your attention to that. The quality of the conversation depends entirely on whom we meet. Sometime when I go and meet the senior person in the stall, I get completely different picture about what they are doing versus someone who is a junior who is probably trying to figure out how to actually execute. And then because of that, I have a limited time. The stall, those who are present on the stall also have a limited time. Ultimately, the information exchange depends on whom I meet. Can I avoid this? 100% yes. But this is one of the area wherein I would definitely like to keep a tab on. The another observation which I have done over the different event is that the momentum leaks after the exhibition. People think that I'll start following up once these leads get uploaded in CRM, or then I will probably start on next Monday. Why to bother them when they are also traveling back from the location of exhibition? But honestly speaking, from day 1 till day 14 is what we consider as probably the momentum. I'll explain this to you day by day in the whole journey as well. However, what I'm trying to highlight out here is that it is no more about who does great follow. It is about who reaches out to them with a relevance, with a context, and immediately after the event, because that is where you will probably be able to monetize whatever the momentum which has been created on the floor. And honestly speaking, in multiple conversations I had, this is always been an area of concern. Sixth, but not the least, normally leadership struggles to connect activities to the outcomes. We all have seen that in every floor. Wherever we go and meet, we see that, yeah, the event was good, the stall was looking fabulous, the footfall was great. But then at the end of the day, or probably at the end of that quarter, if asked that how much has been closed using that event, no one knows. And normally leaders have this difficulty that how many opportunities were created. Was there a pipeline which was been generated? Yes, no. How many stakeholders newly got added? No one knows. In the ongoing opportunity, definitely not. Evaluation of the progress, no one is able to explain. Sometimes even the revenue influenced is completely out of sight. Sometimes it even happens that the next exhibition get booked before even we realizing the ROI of the previous one. And yes, this is where the blind spot again get created. In my whole understanding of the exhibition, I'm trying to address these 6 major pointers which I would want to correct in the whole journey of execution. In order to do that, this is what the 45-day program which is I'm trying to explain. If you look at the first part, which is before the event, I'm talking about day minus 30 to day minus 20. Now, which means that let us say if today is the event, I'm talking about 30 days prior to today. And if that is when I'm looking at what exactly I want to do, I want to create a relevance. How will I be able to create a relevance? One and most important, we should definitely answer this question, that why are we investing in this event? And if the answer is visibility, if the answer is branding, if the answer is recall, if the answer is anything to do with only being present in the market, nothing wrong in it. It is absolutely possible. Some organizations just do it for that sake, provided the clarity emerges way before the event. The next question which I normally ask in the relevance would be probably, do we have a ICP? ICP is the ideal customer profile, which is where I'm going to say that across industry, we have a ICP which has been well defined. And if that ICP has been well defined, how many of them are actually going to be the part of this exhibition? What exactly are we going to exhibit? Is it going to be still my company, my products, me to pitch, or is there going to be something which is far further more? Like, for example, I'm going to go with a specific pain, problem, issue, situation which my ICP has, and I'll be able to address it in this space of an exhibition. Do we have a target list which has been fixed? Like, for example, do I have my older customer base which is going to come and visit me? Do I have my current open opportunities, those who are going to come and meet me in that particular market? Decide the participants who exactly is going to represent your organization, because every one of them has to be trained at par with all the objection handling today. Otherwise, what will happen? Again, as I have mentioned, that majority of times whom we meet will decide the outcome of that particular conversation in the event. We also talk about finalizing the outreach plan as well as the content way before the event. Normally, otherwise, what happens? It is marketing's job. It is marketing's event, and then ultimately they do it. But it is very generic that we are present. Do visit us. In the next phase, wherein I am saying that day minus 20 to day minus 1, what I'm trying to do is create a momentum. How will I be able to create a momentum in an exhibition? Is as simple as that. See, every organizer, let it be any organization which is actually arranging this exhibition places, invest a lot in lot of activities of marketing. They do digital, they do BTLs, they also reach out to their older base. They also try and make sure that a right visitor base reaches to the location. Why do they do that? Because ultimately that is the only mode they have for getting next or a next to next or a next to next exhibitions participation confirmation. That's the only mode they have. Now, if they are putting in so much effort in bringing in the right audience in front of you, can we not add into that? Definitely we can. And in order to do that, we should start with active targeting. So we start with simply multi-channel outreach, which can probably begin with the email, followed by a WhatsApp, followed by a LinkedIn inputs, and then ultimately create that buzz that, okay, there is an event and I am going to be the part of that. In that event, let us meet, book meetings, and do the demo slots. Now there can be a separate calendar which can be managed for that 3 days, and each slot can be monetized. See, ultimately it is like this: if 45 days of my team's entire effort is going to get condensed in that 2 days, then every minute will become extremely important for me to monetize. While booking the meeting and doing the demo slots, that should be the aspect of consideration. Again, create reason to visit the booth. By doing, when I mean create a reason, you can create small lead magnets which would probably lead to having a great conversation about the pain problem situation which they are going to face. These lead magnets can be generated using different knowledge bases which you have, or probably in today's era, AI can probably give you a lot of insights on how these lead magnets can be created. Again, track the responses and refine the outreach. Sometimes it will happen that your first outreach or a first pain based or a pain led positioning may not work out, and something else would. Then probably you have to keep iterating that in that space before the event. Again, confirm high value meetings calendar. Always remember that your leadership is also going to be the part of these exhibitions, and their time should be utilized very well. In order to do that, we should definitely make sure that high value meetings get the calendar importance. The invite goes, the confirmation happens, the meeting happens. Just one day prior to the event, you should be hyper careful. You should definitely make sure that the entire orchestration, the entire execution of the event has been rehearsed, and go one day prior on the place to start very well on the day of the event. Let me get into a quickly on the day of the event then. Let us say that there is a booth which is going to run. Now this booth needs multiple things. Every now and then, people are going to come and ask for either job openings, they are going to be your vendors. There is a possibility that these are the suppliers which you don't want to currently add into your bucket. And more importantly, this event has been designed for you to reach out to your customer, not to your vendors or to the employees. If that has been an agenda, then it's a different story. But if not, then I need to treat them very differently. That's where I believe that first 20 seconds or maximum 30 seconds should go in qualifying who reaches or filtering who reaches to the stall inside, which means that I'll have someone who will have a I don't know whether you people have seen it or not, but just imagine a emergency ward of a hospital or a casualty ward of a hospital wherein there are multiple cases which are continuously coming. There would be a senior doctor who will be standing out there and he'll be guiding people to the different locations. That okay, if you have this problem, go here. If you have that problem, go there. It's called a triage. And that kind of a control on crowd management or a filtering of the information has to happen on the day of the event. That is the first piece which I called as a filtering triage. Once done, once I know that this is my buyer and I need to put them across someone, then that is a second stage which I propose, wherein we call it as a qualifier. There are table spaces which have been created wherein people will be able to come. When they come, they will be able to ask for a specific information. And if your positioning has been pain laid, then it will be about the same thing which is displayed out there. Now the conversation quality will automatically improve because before coming to the event, we have prepared. And that pain laid positioning will help to keep it to the specific levels. Now, again, this qualification conversations can lead to probably 3 minutes or max to max a 5 minute conversation. Once you realize that this is going beyond five and someone is really asking a deeper question or someone really want to really get involved in the contractual agreement level conversations, that's when you pass them on to the next level, wherein we call it as probably a deeper conversation or a progress into the opportunity, wherein we will pass them on to a deeper space somewhere in the same stall, and people will be able to have larger time span with them. Now, these can be the senior management people or probably the seniors among the team, those who are very good in negotiating and getting closures. And that's where the serious conversation of 10 to 12 minutes can happen. Now, just imagine a stall today, a very senior leader from one of your customer comes and everyone is busy. He'll see and he'll pass. But if this system has been implemented, wherein I'm saying that there is someone who is at a triage and he realizes that who he is, he takes it directly to the right audience, gives them that 3, 4, 5 minutes of the time, reaches to the deeper conversation if required, otherwise, give pleasantries and move forward. And then, of course, in that last conversation wherein I'm saying that 10, 12 minutes have been given, you will be able to get a commitment to meet sometime next week. Now, that's where the whole journey becomes solid. My intention is not to make it monotonous, but however, this is how the passing of the ball would probably lead to making a right goal. The whole journey can be orchestrated multiple times in the process. There are some stages wherein you will be able to do it well. Some stages you will need a correction on the spot. In the exhibition excellence workshop which we do, there are multiple things which we add into this. Like for example, how to develop a battle card, how exactly to condense information and pass it on to the next person who is going to talk. We also do a lot of work towards the pen-led positioning to be very well executed. Where all the display should be, how should it be, what case studies should come, and all that process has to happen in your customer world as well. That's where the exhibition will become a smooth but a revenue driver for you. Again, as I was been prior mentioning, that on the day of the exhibition, event never ends. It just begins into the most important phase of its execution. That's where my day 1 to day 10 will be important. And in that after event, I have to start sending the thank you mails, send the relevant information wherever you have used any particular context. You should definitely refer to that context in your follow up. A generic thank you mail coming from a company sees a spam box. That's not what I mean. But however, every conversation it leads to some discovery. You can send some mails if you're in number, but you'll make sure that wherever there is a conversation, it goes to a next step. Wherever you have a pre-agreed conversations and meetings, you attend them. And from day 1 to day 10, we try to optimize whatever we have been investing into by reconnecting with context, confirming the business need, expanding our stakeholders. Let us say that I met a purchase guy of a particular organization, but however, I know that a purchase guy is ultimately going to be my gatekeeper. He is not going to be my final decision maker or a veto in the whole conversation. I may need to reach out to the vetoes of the organization or find out more about the need using my ability to uncover the stakeholders. Continue evaluation further on the discussion. Address any open questions if they have asked on the stall. Definitely, not all answers are supposed to be given on the right that space. However, if you bring that question back, if you have taken the notes and you respond back to that, people will be able to appreciate it much more. Again, this is something to maintain the discussion momentum. There's something to move opportunities forward. In first 10 days, if this happens, then in next 11 to 14 days, you will be able to categorically look at your whole exhibition last 40 days work, and you'll be able to figure out that okay, where all we did right, where all we did wrong. Have it been instrumental in creating a pipeline for me? If yes, then great. That is what the pipeline which will start giving you the real ROI. Again, as I say, every time if the organization there is someone who is orchestrating the whole journey, the journey will absolutely remain smooth. I'll probably take a 30-second pause. If you have any question, any query on the journey which is I was been talking about, feel free to ask. There is,
Question.
yeah,
Uh,
sure.
so this journey of 45 days, but we have a consecutive event within next 7 days in a row. Okay. So there are multiple simultaneously going on campaigns that has to be done. Number one, or you at the end of this session, if you can suggest any tools like right now there is at and it is always like you consider that as a shop, and there are peak hours like in any 2 hours given time there is so much rush that you will miss out that opportunity, and even the person who is guiding the triage one, he would miss out, and in that anxiety, in that nervousness. So whatever you are however very good session, but I can feel the entire thing that have been done wrong, but what are the measures to take it on a right way, that you if you can tell at the end of the session or whenever it's possible,
Yeah, sure,
because right
we
now
can
we are talking
probably.
on problem statements only.
No, no, absolutely. Yogesh, thank you very much for asking the right question. I'll probably deep dive into this. Just to quickly give you a smaller answer initially. If I have multiple events happening back to back, which means I have to have multiple conversations at different levels, the ICP may differ. If you're doing a event in the same market, in the same space, then ICP may overlap. But however, the entire ICP will never appear in one event. So multiple conversations will keep happening, and yes, the overlap is possible. Second question which you majorly asked, that in the event day there would be a peak hour. Let us say that one phase wherein a lot of people start working in fact the triage works exactly great there. In majority of spaces when the rush is not there, the people those who are going to do the triage or the filtering need to probably move out of the stall and fetch traffic inside. So if you look at that rule, it becomes completely different from, instead of filtering, it becomes a outreach to the people those who are around and in the aisle, and sometimes it becomes great. But again, attracting a wrong crowd just because the stall is empty is not something which I will ever prefer. Right? Thanks a lot. Thank you very much for the question. Going one step forward again, is there any other question? Okay, no.
No, Amey, we can go.
Sure, sure, absolutely. Now, if I just quickly want to look at how the floor would run, this is what probably we've been talking about. The triage will run exactly like this. That in that 30 seconds, from anywhere, the people, those who are coming in, will keep continuously moving forward. And then from there, it will go to qualification. In the qualification journey, again, There will be a strict measure that I'll figure out whether this is an opportunity or not, whether this is something wherein I'll be able to have a business outcome or not. Is this a revenue earning or a revenue spending situation? Based on that, I'll be able to qualify. Bringing it to the detailed conversation, wherein normally the detailed conversation should happen with the senior management. It is not for gathering information, but however, delivering the value, what you really can give it back to them in that conversation. And then, of course, in the last stage, wherein I'll be able to get the confirmation of the next activity with the customer. That's what something which is the whole execution framework should help you with. This is something which I have created for general conversation, wherein you will be able to see that different roles at a different stage will have different responsibilities. I'm just quickly dividing it into the leadership, marketing, sales, technical or subject matter experts, operation or event team, and then of course senior management or founders. In the pre-event, what should they do? In the event space, what should they do? In the post-event, what should be their responsibility? And what is the outcome which is we are looking for? I'll probably hold on for another 30 seconds. Please read through. If you find something interesting, great. I would be happy to further deep dive into that. Just a quick question on then how should I actually measure it? This is where the transition which is there in my mind. Traditionally, we have been counting the footfall, we have been counting the visitors, we have been probably talking about leads which have been collected. And in the poll which we have done, people have mentioned that lead generation is normally the reason for them to make sure that event becomes successful. We calculate number of business cards or the batches which have been scanned. Sometime even the brochure distribution has also been counted, that how many brochures have we consumed. However, in the outlook which is I am trying to present, that execution excellence metrics should run on a different KPIs. From day 30, from 30 days prior to the event to the 1 day prior to the event, it is the awareness and the intent phase. My intention is to actually control all these KPIs which are on your screen, like target account identification, outreach coverage, stakeholder reach, response rates. Today, there are unlimited number of tools which are available, which will give you at the ease all this data, and you'll be able to correct it in the due course of time. Meeting acceptance rate, pre-scheduled meetings, expected priority account engagement, all of these should remain on your radar in that first 30 days. Now, from there, on the day of the event, I should keep monitoring that what is a meaningful conversation am I having, or am I really not able to get any pre-booked meeting at all? If people have booked a slot and they haven't shown they are not present on that particular time of the meeting, then you may start realizing that the slot booking was been done by force, and all these corrections will happen over the period. But it is important for you to monitor them. Qualified opportunities are coming to you or not coming to you. Is there whatever the stakeholder which was in map is present in the exhibition and visiting you or not? Business problems are getting identified or not? Opportunity potential value, are we increasing the funnel? Are we continuously adding something from the top of the funnel? That has to become the priority criteria. Of course, next step, commitment needs to be secured every single time, which means if anyone has reached to the table of qualification or anyone have reached to the level wherein they are going deeper into the conversation with senior members, the next step commitment has to be secured. If that is not happening, then it becomes something which is a worry for us. Again, if I keep it as a KPI and if I keep monitoring that how many next week's meetings were been booked, how many next uh, questions which have been asked, which wherein I need to send the data back, are being created. All this will become a KPI which can be monitored easily. Again, between day 1 to day 14, how many follow-ups have been completed? How many meetings, those which have been booked, are conducted? Technical discussions could happen or could not happen. Additional stakeholders have been added or not added. All these metrics as a KPI can be monitored, reaches to a level wherein the after 15 days, a long phase of asking for whether the ROI has been received or not can be created. Like for example, in one of my customers area case, the sales cycle is more than 6 months, and it is because of the nature of the business. And I'm not saying that there is a right and wrong about it, but however, if the event has been done today and 6 months down the line, I know that this event was been a reason for this lead getting generated or this opportunity moving, then probably I should be able to go back and tell not only to my team but to a management as well that this is where the outcome or this is where the revenue generation happened from the event. Again, these KPIs are been something which would need some implementation of technology. Sometime it will also need some implementation and the change management in people, how they currently operate in the mechanism. I'll just go next with this. Wherein in the same context, we are running a public batch, which is going to happen somewhere in the month of July 20th and 21st. It is happening in our office in our location. We would love to have, if you are interested to know more about this whole pedagogy, which is we are talking of, how exactly this can be achieved, which technology tools, which I was referring to in the previous slide, can be implemented, and how it can be done better. If you have any questions, any doubts on the conversation up till now, I would be happy to have them here. The stage is open for you all.
Yeah, guys, you can unmute or use the chat. Both are,
Sure. You can
yeah,
send it to
both
the
is
admin.
available.
Yeah, so Amay, it was a nice session. I would like to ask one question.
Sure.
So, what happens is not every company does this, but most of the companies, when visitors come to their stalls, they directly start pitching. Oh, this is our product. This is they show the pamphlets, or they just directly invite them in the booth before even asking them the question whether the visitor is from a sales background of that company or is from a some other role. Most of the time visitors coming to a show is from a technical department. They want to come there to see products or services in which their problems are solved. So sales people most of the time don't ask them this question that are you looking for some solution in regards to let's say HVAC, technical
Absolutely. Yeah.
glitch or something like that,
Hmm.
or some their domain role, production, maintenance, something role. So I think they get pissed off, or they just feel that, oh, these people are just trying to sell us before even asking us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So how
So,
do you take that?
Abhijit, again, salespeople are there to sell, and that is what the perception they all carry, that I am here to impress. I want to show my flamboyance and get people to agree to whatever I am selling. But we have to correct it from the design perspective itself. I'll just give you an example of it. That let us say that if I have a booth wherein I am saying that this is my company, these are my USPs. This is the one kind of a booth which you are able to see. Now imagine there is a second booth in which people are talking about the exact problem or the pain or the situation which is you are dealing with, your customer is dealing with. Now if the booth does not talk about me, my brand, my situation, and they if simply have a expectation of explaining that pain problem on your screen, what do you think what will happen? Will the interaction be more fruitful?
No, it will not.
Okay. In my experience, if the pain led positioning has been done correct, then from the design itself, people will come with a problem statement inside the stall. And that is what the expectation. But again, I'm open to hear your perspective. What I suggest is that in your conversation also, when you're preparing your team, prepare them with a small elevator pitch of, let us say, 3 lines or 4 lines. If that elevator pitch goes well, and if the customer says that tell me more, then only they should go forward. Otherwise, at the triage, they should actually respectfully take an exit on the conversation. And that is something which is a learned behavior, needs to be taught for sure.
Yes, and it goes the opposite way also. There are a lot of times in a bigger booths, there are technical people also there in the booth. So they technical people should also be taught little bit of sales to, because sometimes they are not even aware how to handle a customer because they are from a technical role.
I agree. I'll give you a cricketing analogy. Let us say that if I'm talking about an opening batsman to come at sixth and seventh position and do this log overs hitting, he may be able to do it as well. Correct. But however, if the reverse of that happens, if someone who is a specialist bowler has been given a instruction to open a match, what will happen?
Yeah,
There's
it
a high
will
possibility
not
that
go
it
the
will not
right
go.
way. I
It will
mean,
not go well. So that's
strategy
how
will
it
be
is.
wrong.
If the technical people are doing the first conversation, if the technical people are doing the filtering or the qualification, then that is where something they'll fumble. That is not their work. They should be there in that longer conversation of that 10-minute, 12-minute only. That is where their USP would be, and that's where they'll be able to add a lot of value. So we have to arrange it such a way that it is a well orchestrated system, and that's what it will work with.
Yes.
Any other question, Murtuza? If there is anything in the chat, please let me know. I'll probably be able
So,
to.
yes, so Yagnesh Thakkar is asking about the workshop actually. That tell us more about the workshop.
Sure. So, Yanish, it is a two-day workshop. We are going to cover exactly what I have shared. We haven't kept anything away from all of you as well. However, we now go into a much deeper level, wherein if you have a particular event or a exhibition in front of you, how will you execute it? For that is what we work with. This total workshop would be covering starting from the positioning conversation, starting from the conversation for your team to get ready, how to prepare them, how to get them to a level wherein everyone will be able to reap the benefits out of that. And that is what something which is this exhibition is
So,
all about. My team will
so
definitely reach out to you with the details
So
of
what is an ideal ICP for you for a person joining this workshop batch so that we understand whether we fit in or not? For example, to give you a insight about what my particular question is, let me put my example so that other relevant
sure, sure, absolutely.
people in the the Zoom call can understand. We around spend yearly around 20 to 25 lakhs across pan India for this exhibitions. Our total budget for entire, whether it is 2, 3, 4, 5, or however big it is, we have a budget of 25 to 20 lakh rupees per annum.
Hmm.
Now, having said that, we are a B2B and B2C company, both we are diversifying in other channels also. But
Hmm.
uh, I mean, how are we? What question should you ask me so that I can be the right, whether I would be qualified your ICP or
I'll
not
help you.
for this?
I got it. So, Yadnesh, thank you very much for asking this question, and it probably clarifies doubt for everyone of us present out here. See, ultimately, if you are spending 20-25 lakh rupees, we are probably doing a lot of substantial investment. Uh, Definitely, there is a return which is expected out of that. If it is a B2C, then you will expect across the counter revenue also. But if it is a B2B, then you will expect the pipeline to be built in the whole journey. Now, if your B2B offering is somewhere wherein discovery-led conversations are important, if you are into the B2B business wherein the complex selling process comes in or the consultative selling helps, then that is the company which should definitely invest into the betterment of execution. If any given point of time there are B2B companies wherein it is like, for example, a pharma company wherein they are selling a paracetamol, they may not need to invest into exhibition as an initiative itself. It's a commodity which has been used everywhere, and people know that it is going to run through the distributor channel, then I'll not suggest them to invest anywhere like this. However, if there is any other B2B business wherein a consultative selling or a value selling adds value to the whole funnel, then that is definitely the area wherein we would like to qualify you in. If someone is investing into exhibitions year on year or multiple interventions across the year, then that is where the ROI compounds. Like, for example, if 45 days is the span which is I'm talking about, which means I'm talking about 2 months of a active campaign to be done. Now, this 2 months replicated in 5 different places becomes 10 month. If 10 month of my year is going to be consumed for event, I may have a specialized team or I may have a generalized team which is doing this role in parallel to their job. In both cases, it is important for them to execute it at the best of their ability. And in such cases, definitely this module will help them. I hope I'm helping answer you, Jignesh. Yagnesh, right? Yagnesh.
हाँ यज्ञेश
Yeah,
मतलब ऐसा बोलते हैं ना सर के who should attend or who should not attend kind of because वो confidence because I guess this is a 2 day full-time event
yeah,
from morning to evening, right?
correct.
So
It is a 8 hours, 2 days effort. And again, when we say so, so who should not attend? I'll be very honest to you. B2C, we don't have expertise on, and we would not recommend B2C teams to come in and invest it because B2C metrics runs very different. Like the funnel size is extremely different than B2B. The conversion ratios would be very different. The pain points which are to be displayed would be very different. So B2B is something which is a criteria. If you're into B2C, then this may not be a great value add to you. Second of that is in majority of conversations where if you are doing yourself a consultative selling, you know it well that okay, I need to convince someone, I need to show them the value, and then only the closing happens. Then you are a right fit for this. These are the two litmus tests. I'll definitely give it to you. Sure. Thanks a lot. I think if there is any other question, Murtaza,
No, man. I think as of now we are good to
great.
go. Uh,
Uh,
yeah, if people have, so Amey, you can search Amey on LinkedIn as well. We'll probably give his ID also in, when we share a post webinar email with also with the information about this workshop as well. If people want to go through and register. And yeah, feel free to connect with Amey on LinkedIn. He will be available to ask, to any questions you ask to answer.
Sure. Thank you very much, Murtaza. Thank you everyone for being here. Again, apologies for the initial hiccup. Would love to be in touch. LinkedIn is definitely the media wherein we all are available. Again, the bottom line of the program, the objective is not to measure how people meet us. Objective is to measure how many customers move forward in the exhibition as a process or as a methodology for closing sales. That's what will be the bottom line of the program for me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you everyone for your time and apologies again from our end for this glitch. And we look forward to seeing you everyone in the future webinars as well. Thank you everyone.
Thanks.